What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about how you can break in a football. Let's get started. Now, before we get into this video, fellas, if you are a quarterback and would like to train with us this offseason, we are traveling out to 15 more states across the country for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. Next up on our camp tour, we are coming out to San Francisco, California. Then we'll be heading out to Miami, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada, Charlotte, North Carolina, Portland, Oregon. Then we'll be coming out to Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Chicago, Illinois, Buffalo, New York, Atlanta, Georgia, Houston, Texas, Detroit, Michigan, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Boise, Idaho, and Los Angeles, California. So again, if you guys would like some more information on how you can attend to train with myself, my staff of coaches, again, fellas, check out that very first link in the description below. That's where all the information is on how you can sign up. So again, very first link in that description below. Let's get back to this video. All right, so the first way to break in a football is going to be using a Wilson wax kit. So Wilson, sometimes on their website, if you go to wilson.com, again, I'm not an affiliate of Wilson. This is just what most of the quarterbacks that I train use. They go to wilson.com. There's a wax kit on there. They have a brush, they'll have a wax. And what you would do is you would wax the football and then you would brush the football. And then you have like this kind of like slicker grip to the ball. I'm sure all of you guys have bought a new football, one of the actual leather footballs, and it's insanely hard to grip. It's almost like plastic. Sometimes you get a football that's like very narrow and pointy, especially if you're a youth quarterback, and it is extremely tough to grip. So the Wilson wax kit is one of the best things to use. You can only use it, or I only recommend to use it on an actual leather football. If you use it on one of those like composite leather footballs, which are usually the cheaper footballs, it makes it really, really slick and it's pretty much impossible to grip. So I only recommend that on actual leather footballs. Now, the Wilson wax kit, some of you guys may not like it. There are two things that I see a lot of my quarterbacks use is the wax kit, and then they also use this kind of like mudding technique, right? So if you look on YouTube, there's a lot of videos on how like different universities will like mud their footballs, or how some people will mud their footballs. And there are actually companies that will mud the footballs for you that you could send the footballs in. Now, again, I personally hate the mud feeling. I feel like it's like almost like too grippy in a way. Like I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I think every quarterback's a little different in what they like. The personal one that I like the best would obviously be the Wilson wax kit out of those two. But I'm going to give you some other ways that may be a little bit cheaper and a little bit more affordable to help you break in a football where you don't need to purchase all this equipment or this kit or this mud or whatever it might be. All right. So when I coached high school football, what we would do before every single week of practice is we would take some ankle tape spray and we would spray all of the footballs, and that would pretty much give it that same coat of wax as that Wilson wax kit might do. So ankle tape spray, like honestly, like I think that's maybe like $10, I would say. Like it's not that expensive. Wilson wax kit is probably going to be a little bit more expensive than that, not to mention actually purchasing the leather football where you're already making a good investment amount of money, because again, footballs get more expensive every year and it's absolutely ridiculous, right? So I would say getting ankle tape spray if you want just like kind of a cheap, quick alternative to giving that ball some grip. I would spray the ankle tape on the football, and that gives it honestly the same exact type of grip. I got that from a coach that I coached with in high school who played up at Southern Utah University. And if you're not familiar with Southern Utah, he would say that it would just be cold as hell or hot as hell up there, right? And he said when it was cold, it was insanely hard to grip the ball, and that's what they would do. He was eventually like a graduate assistant, so he coached there. And so he kind of got to learn the ins and outs of like kind of the kind of grunt work, I guess you could say, that graduate assistants have to do. And he said that that was one of his jobs. He would spray that football with ankle tape spray, and that would give it a ton of grip. So that's something that you guys could absolutely use to help you break in that football. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you guys is very, very simple to do, and that is coming out in the morning, getting onto a field just like this, a grass field where there is dew on the ground, taking a brand new football and just skidding it on the ground. That honestly, like you getting that type of like grit, because like dew on the grass is not just like water, right? Like it's a little bit sticky. I'm sure all of you guys know, especially on a grass field. And you guys getting that like stick, that water that's a little bit sticky on the football, honestly gives it a lot of grip. I remember during like Hell Week, especially in the summer, if it was like, we'd come out to the field, there's a little dewy, we'd get all the brand new footballs, and us quarterbacks would just throw bounce passes to each other, right? And that dew getting on the football honestly took away that like tack feeling when you get a brand new football, and it gave it a ton of grip. So that's a simple thing that you guys can do. Honestly, like that's probably what I did most of when I was a player. And the other thing that I did when I was a player is I would put pine tar on the ball. Now, is that legal? Probably not, but pine tar on the football is the same thing as the Wilson wax kit. I just think pine tar gets a lot of like bad publicity because of what it's done in baseball, like not for the bat, but like, you know, pitchers putting it on their hat, giving them a little bit more grip with the ball. But I used to put pine tar on it, and then I would wipe it off with like a damp towel, I guess you could say. It used to give it a crazy grip. Like my receivers loved it, especially when I was in high school. But so those are just, again, there are many different ways to break in a football. I think it's just about what's finding best for you. But if you throw a new Wilson ball, like it's close to impossible to grip. So honestly, finding some kind of method that works best for you, that's the most feasible economically as well, will be a great investment and a great investment of your time. All right, fellas, really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you would like to train with us in 15 different states this offseason, check out that very first link in the description below. We're coming out to states like Miami, Las Vegas, Charlotte, all over the country, fellas. So I'm sure we're coming to a state close to you. So again, very first link in that description below. I'll see you guys next time.